Alrighty, I guess I'll host. Or since you did the suggestion for homework, why not you host?
Oh gosh, Sterling, passing the torch onto me so early, man. I've only been here for 2 seasons. I don't know if I can handle that sort of pressure. Alright, loyal podcast goers, this is the SAF podcast with me, your semi-reoccurring host, Josiah Biggs. I'm into long walks on the beach. I enjoy a nice pina colada. And no, I'm not bisexual.
You sure about that?
Stay tuned to find out. And now, our main guest of the day, all the way back from his adventures in the mysterious Nepal, Sterling Silver.
Yep. Oh my goodness. All those yoga sessions. I know everything now. Everything. Yeah, I'm good to be back. A lot of stuff happened. And yeah, I'm well aware that I can actually come onto the podcast and speak my desires. Alrighty.
Oh man.
Ooh, yeah. Also, we have a homework for you. We have homework that we did, which was called, what was it again, Josiah?
Yes, I had the pleasure of picking this week's homework, which was Arcadia of my youth.
And then I went ahead and put extra credit on the docket, and we watched the first episode of
Cubix.
Cubix, yeah, Cubix.
Robots for
Everyone season final.
Yep.
That debuted Friday, yeah. For you laymen's out there, Berserk 2016 was the anime that we watched the first episode of. So yeah, look forward to that.
Or not.
Alrighty.
Alright, let's get in it, Sterling. What did you do while you were MIA from the internet for an almost entire week?
I think about 10 days, maybe. I don't know. Alrighty. Let's see what I did. Well, apparently my causing why I was out was that apparently AT&T internet networks were down due to some kind of fire up in California, or in like San Diego and stuff, places like that. Yeah. And it caused like a whole lot of smoke and smog and just all that stuff. And apparently that just messes up with AT&T stuff. I'm like, okie dokie, I guess we'll not have internet for all this time. And that's pretty much what I've been having to deal with for that last 10 days, I guess. It caused quite a lot of stir up, I guess. Also, I've been going to school. Oh my gosh. It's the summer classes. It's only like 4 weeks of school, but it's like non-stop Monday through Thursday. So yay. No school tomorrow, since apparently it's 4th of July, whatever that is. And yeah. Other than that, I've been playing a whole lot of games and kind of not one of them. I'll get to that later. I've been watching a whole lot of movies, and I've been reading up on some mangoes. I'll start with that, yeah. I delved back kind of a little bit deep into Berserk again to see where this one is gonna, like, to refreshen what I should be disappointed with in the newest Berserk anime. And apparently, about 6 chapters, give or take, were pretty much dropped in the anime.
Yeah. Well, we'll get to that when we talk about it. Try and just touch base with it.
I'll just skim over it. Like, yeah.
I didn't start off right where it left off with the Black Swordsman arc.
Yeah.
Basically.
But other than that, yeah. I'm getting there slowly but surely. Like, I haven't been into it since, I guess, like 4, maybe 6 chapters before the arc of everybody waiting years and years for the newest arc. So yeah, I'll be climbing that mountain to that point. And I've been grinding my way through JoJo Part 6, Jolene's Bizarre Adventure. Yeah, it's still pretty much in the realm of, I get why people don't really subject it to being the greatest of the parts, which is very, very apparent. Like, not even for me reading any others, but going off of the anime as well. Quite a lot of assumption, like 100% assumption. Like, everything that's assumed is, by goodness, 100% accurate. Like, this one automatic stand. Oh, he's automatic. That's the introduction. Oh, yep, he's automatic for sure. I was like, how do you know this? Like, oh, cause, well, he's walking around doing nothing. Like, okay, I guess we can just assume and everything be 100% accurate. Other than that, yeah, I'm liking it. It's everything that, like, it's in my field of what I like to read. But other than that, not really much to say other than Poochie is still the greatest villain I've seen in a mango, besides Griffith, of course.
You haven't read Steel Ball Run yet, man.
I know. And after this, I might go into Steel Ball Run, cause it's.
I mean, that's one of the reasons why I like Part 6 so much, is because it retcons everything and sets up for Steel Ball Run.
Yeah. And I'm like, I just need like 6 more chapters, 6 more volumes, I guess, left of Part 6, and I'm done. And those go by very fast. I just have to find a day and time where I can be, hey, you know what? I'm gonna sit down and read some mango. And yeah, other than that, I guess I'll go into the movies. I've seen The Godfather, parts of it here and there, and I was like, okay, this is fine. And barely 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, around that time, I was like, hey, you know what? I have the whole 3 DVD set of The Godfather Part 1, 2, and 3. Why not put the first one in and see how things go? And yeah, it's fine.
It's a long ride, man.
Yeah, it's about it's for a movie that's the highest on the IMDb rating, I'm pretty surprised by it. But other than that, like, it's still a good movie, but I don't know, I was kind of skeptical at first of, like, really? This is an extremely amazing movie where everybody says, hey, yo, it's 10 out of 10, 9.2 on IMDb, yo. I'm like, alright. But other than that, yeah, it's fine, I guess. I hear 2 is still as good as 1, and I've never ever seen that. And I've seen parts of 3 like eons ago, and I liked what I seen back then. But after I watched part 1 of Godfather, I'm like, you know what? I remember Scarface being pretty cool. Let me pop that in. And then I popped it in, and I was like, yep, it's still as cool as I remember. Cause wow, like, no wonder Grand Theft Auto Vice City wanted to do like a whole thing about Scarface. So, oh my goodness, yeah, I pretty much really like Scarface a little bit more than Godfather, but they're kind of different things for different people. Cause I don't know, the Italian, I forget their specific name for the Godfathers. I forget their species.
Oh, it's been years. I don't even remember.
I just watched it recently, but it's not the Italians, but it's something there. But
mafioso?
No, it's like a.
like a
yeah.
Like a race.
Yeah. But for me, Cubans and Hispanics and all that stuff, they speak to me because, you know, cough, cough.
Sterling, are you getting sick? Did you not bundle up while you were in Nepal? It's pretty cold up there.
Yeah, especially doing yoga, and skin tight yoga pants. And then I went and watched another movie, which I'm totally forgetting. But I bet it was good. I bet it was super good that it made me forget a movie, but whatever. On to games. Have a whole list of things I've done in the gaming realm. First off, let's start with The Witcher 3. Whoa.
Wowzers.
So back a long time ago, I got into The Witcher 3, like just barely, and I was like, you know what? These controls on consoles, they ain't working for me. You know, and I had it on like, I guess a difficulty higher than normal because I thought it was gonna be a game, you know. But no, it's not that kind of game. So I'm like, you know what? Fine, I'll be a scrub and put it on the easiest difficulty. That doesn't help at all. I cannot get past the horrible control schemes at all. I can see the resemblance of a good story in there, but it's not enticing me to keep on going with the horrible controls that The Witcher 3 is on consoles. And I'm not even sure that it's that great of a control scheme on the PC either, so I don't know. It's just one of those things that a third-person action game on a PC is just, I don't know how that works.
It just does. You don't worry about it.
Yeah. But other than that, like I couldn't go on, so I sold it to GameStop for something.
$7.
I think it was about $20 something dollars, since it's pretty popular and people like it. And like, you know what? We'll give you $20. I don't know the extreme price because I also sold the 3 set of Uncharted with it for the PS4. Because once you play those once, it's like, why play it again? So, like, with Uncharted, the 3 games for the PS4 and Witcher 3, that amounted to $37. So I'm like, alright, whatever. And I got Star Ocean 5 Integrity and Faithlessness with it. What a huge disappointment that was. What a huge disappointment Star Ocean 5 Integrity and Faithlessness is. It's not particularly a bad game, but it's not at all anywhere close to being a good game. But it's something I would play until the end, cause at least the controls are good. Like, I don't know how to start with how bad Star Ocean is, but it's the beginning problem that I can make known to everyone is that it's very budgeted. It has a very, very low budget, and what it does with its budget is fair. Like, you can see where the money goes and extremely where the money does not go. And that's pretty much in the story and cinematography, because what it basically is an MMORPG-esque kind of, oh hey, talk to that guy. Don't have a cutscene or anything, but just talk to that guy, and you're going to go through a whole lot of mazes and stuff. Jumps through hoops to get to the other thing, to talk to this guy. No cutscenes or anything. Don't pay attention to this game not having cutscenes, although Star Ocean is pretty much in the story realm of cutscenes. No, don't pay attention to all that stuff before it, because we want to make a whole new Star Ocean stuff. I'm like, yeah, fine. I'll play your little game of disappointment, but you know what? I can't really complain for it being the first in a line of series that could be potentially better than this one, I hope. Other than that, the game looks actually pretty good. Like, it runs at 60 frames per second, per minute, whatever. Whatever it is, FPS, yeah, per second. There you go. 60 frames per second. And it looks shiny on the PS4, even though it's also for a PS3, I think. But yeah, whatever. I got it for the PS4 because I like wasting money. Other than that, I played some Final Fantasy VI some more. I got into the point where I thought the story was going to get good, and I've gotten into the world of whatever it is, destruction, after Kefka does his wham bam thank you ma'am kind of thing to the whole world.
He's like, I don't think this world is cruel enough.
And yeah, basically all I can say is that maybe the version that I played eons ago was better in the translation department, but I'm not too sure because that was the SNES version. And I'm pretty sure that the PlayStation 1 version is practically similar, or maybe a little bit, I don't know, like spiced up with some kind of more better. I don't know, but either way, I'm liking how the story is. I'm liking, like, the gameplay is like 100% satisfactory in that realm. Like, there's no problems in that realm. But the story is pretty much like going through cliff notes and saying, oh yeah, this happens, that happens. You are to go here and there and here and there, and then the story just comes about. Like, if I were to read a book of like the non-cliff notes options, I'm pretty sure that the story would be pretty good, but it's serviceable at best, I would say. And then I think I played some more other games, but I'm not too sure. I guess not. Alrighty, Josiah, what about you? What's up with your week? How did your week go?
I guess I'll start off where you left off with GAMS. And so, as far as GAMS,
Overwatch.
Basically, yeah, Overwatch. Big surprise. You know?
Overwatch. Yeah.
But the biggest surprise out of that is I started maining someone I never thought I would main.
Diva.
No.
Oh.
No, Torbjorn.
Torbjorn.
Yeah. I got one of his legendary skins in one of my loot crates, and I'm like, okay, I guess I'll play him now since I have a legendary skin. It can look like a badass. Cause it's the actual legendary skin that I wanted for him, which was the Blackbeard pirate.
Oh yeah.
And so I started. Whenever we were on defense, I would play him. You know, whenever we weren't on defense, I wouldn't play him because I'm not a stupid idiot. Like some people out there. But no, I've actually started learning all the maps with him, and I'm actually starting to get pretty good. I've gotten like 3 or 4 play of the games, 2 in one day actually. But I've been playing at least an hour to 2 hours a day of Overwatch. So I've been upping my game. I haven't gotten into competitive play yet. Because I'm a little baby, but and I don't have a team, or at least 2 other people to play with me, so we can have consistent gameplay. But
so all you're doing is just going into quick matches and stuff like that.
Yeah. Quick matches. Oh, every once in a while, if I can't get a good quick match going, because a lot of times, like 4 or 5, like I don't know, like 4 or 5 of the games I played this last week have just got me in the last minute. Of the game, and I'm just like, why? Why? And I can't do anything. I can just rush to the thing and die twice, you know, or something. Like, there's nothing constructive I can do in this game except for, you know, just accept it and take the loss.
Yeah.
Because there's another person that, you know, they're probably missing another person as well when I join. But besides that, every once in a while, if I get a couple matches like that in a row, I'll go and I'll play against some hard AIs and start working, you know, like some new tech for, you know, heroes and such like that I've been thinking about or seen other people do. But besides that, no, I'm still playing a whole bunch of Zenyatta too.
Zenyatta?
I like Zenyatta.
What's that?
He's the robot healer.
Oh. Yeah.
Yep, Zenyatta. He's pretty fun because he's offensive and heals. I can't really. I don't know. I've gotten kind of worse at Mercy. And what's her face with the turrets? She
with the turrets?
Symmetra.
Yeah,
Symmetra. She's only good on certain levels where you have time to set up that stuff. But besides that, level 27 now. So I'm chugging my way through. But I've only got 2 legendary skins so far, so
For who?
One for Torbjorn, and then one for Tracer, but I never played Tracer, so nobody cares.
Yeah.
But that's about as much as I've done game. Oh, and I played GTA 5 with the bros on Friday night, as always, so it was pretty fun. But let's see here. As far as TV shows go, I've of course been watching through the Big Bang series, you know, for the 5th time.
Yep.
You know, love Big Bangs. You know, it's the best series on the face of the planet. You know, Bulgaria. You know, catchphrase. No, I'm kidding. It's garbage. If your kids watch, or if anyone watches, if your aunt watches, or your grandma watches Big Bang Theory, do them a favor and either just, you know, destroy their TV, or, you know, just you should probably start putting something in their drinks. I can't tell you how many times I've looked on, you know, I've been browsing through Tinder and it's like, likes Big Bang Theory. Nope. Left swipe. Left swipe. Every time. Oh man, we got big thunder coming through. I apologize for any other sound and fireworks. People firing out fireworks throughout the day. At least I hope those are fireworks. I'm pretty close to the north side of town, so you can't tell if fireworks are gunshots. So I'm really hoping, because it's the 4th, it's the prior, not the latter. But for seriousness, TV shows, I picked up Kamen Rider O's again. I'm like 15 episodes to the end now. I had to catch back up. I kind of got sidetracked there with everything else. And you know, after reviewing 8 series in a row, I needed a little not Kamen Rider time to myself.
Yeah.
Kind of cleanse the palate. But no, it's still going good so far. I watched 5 episodes yesterday and got back up on it, and it's really entertaining, and it's going in a direction I didn't think I didn't think would happen in this Kamen Rider, since it's kind of a goofball one. Took a real serious tone there for a couple episodes, which was like, whoa, okay. But besides that, not so much on American side of TV. Nothing's really premiered that I want to watch. Game of Thrones, don't care. Walking Dead, don't care.
Have you seen any Game of Thrones stuff, or?
No, I was too late.
Yeah.
You gotta understand, it's not that I don't think it's not a good show. I'm sure it's a fine show, but it's just like I'm too late, and now the hype is overwhelming, and now I don't want to start it until a decade after it's died down.
Yeah, that's true.
The struggle is real with that. Same thing happened with Breaking Bad. In like a couple years, I'll probably pick up Breaking Bad. Yeah. But I was just too late for Breaking Bad. But now on to the Animu Corner. I also watched, of course, the first episode of Cubix Robots for Everyone.
Yep. Season final.
And then, and we had what may or may not be the final episode of Cabaneri of the Iron Fortress. Episode 12. It kind of ended, it kind of didn't. It didn't give you like a sincere yes, yay, or nay. So there may just be a season 2 coming up. I don't know. I haven't looked into it too much. I've been too busy looking at the other new stuff coming on. Didn't occur to me to check on that yet. But I will. We'll know next week for sure. But no. So much better than Attack on Titan. It's what should be in this sort of anime.
Yes.
Good, conflict is resolved, things happen. There's a much more sense of reality, even though it's in this fantasy world, so to speak.
Yep.
The characters feel much more developed and real. And there's that still that one engineer that says every other word in English and has this great British accent. And oh my gosh, he's the best character. He has a powdered wig too. Best character in the whole show. Oh my gosh, he's like, engines check, ready to go. It's great. Dragon Ball Super is also chugging along. Future Trunks got a double episode this week, so we'll see how that goes. I already downloaded it. Haven't been too afraid to open it yet. So, apparently, the villain that Future Trunks is facing this time looks just like Goku, but his name is Black. Hence, Black Goku. Hence, Black Goku is real. If you've been keeping up with the Super Best Friends, this is what they've been talking about. It's ridiculous. We'll find out. Hopefully, there's some sort of.
So his name is Black, or he is Black?
No, he is Black. Like his transformation, like he's wearing like the tribal clothes type thing, and he's got earrings on, but not the fusion earrings. And then he looks just like Goku, and he's the same voice actor as Goku with just a slightly deeper tone. And
of course, 'cause he's black.
Yeah, his hair is black, same color, this and that. But he can shoot fire sometimes. I don't know. It's weird.
Okie
dokie. Apparently, when you try and hide your key, he can still sense you. So, oh yes, and he just came back in time. I remember that was the end of the last episode I saw. He came back in time because Trunks did. Somehow he has that ability. And then he's like, oh hey, there's regular Goku and Vegeta, and so we're gonna have some sort of fight.
Yeah.
And hopefully it's good, and hopefully we learn something. Maybe. Toriyama, I don't know what you're doing, man. Hopefully, I mean, we've had our worries before, and you've pulled it around, so we're just gonna sit quietly and wait this one out.
So this Super Dragon Ball, it like pretty much doesn't care what GT did, and goes
it's like,
from
hey, GT.
Dragon Ball Z onward.
It's like, hey GT, get the fuck out of my house. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. Oh, it's great. It's like, hey, remember all those things in GT? Didn't happen.
Yeah. All right. So Gohan is not even Ultimate Gohan anymore.
No.
Okay.
Well, he's training again because of the last threat that threatened Earth because of basically Beerus, because he had his hand, he got whooped by Frieza in the movie, and then he got whooped by, he couldn't do anything with Beerus either, and so Gohan's like, I should probably get ripped again now that I'm the skinny guy.
Yeah.
And so he's off training with Piccolo.
Cool.
On and off. Of course, now that he has Pam, he's been kind of dad training.
That's cool. All right.
And so yeah, you get to see the adventures of baby Pam too, which is pretty funny. Good kids episode. And old Pilaf and the gang are reoccurring characters again in their kid form. And it's not as bad as you would think. It works well, because mostly they just paired up with Trunks and Goten, because they're about the same age as them, and so they just go around and they don't know that they tried to kill their father way back when several times. But moving on from that, Assassination Classroom had its season finale, 25th episode of the second season, thereby completing the series as a whole, and I'm gonna say it right now, it is the most to the manga anime adaptation I've ever seen. It's almost perfect. It's like a 99% accuracy, and not just accuracy, but the feel of like when you're reading it, and then the feel of like watching it is good. Like that's it. The opening themes and the ending themes, perfect. Like everything all around, 9 out of 10.
Cool.
JoJo's is going good. We just had the Rohan episode this week, when they first the gang, Koichi and other loser meet Rohan in his house, and we get some good spider-looking times, as you've probably seen the gifts passed around. Now, Boku no Hero Academia, I think, is off this week. Didn't have an episode this week, but it's still going strong. Ace Attorney also didn't have an episode this week. A lot of animes aren't having an episode this week because technically the new season starts next week, even though we had some shows start this week. And so this is the let's have a break week. Yeah. For a lot of the ones that are reoccurring, which is why I think Cabaneri will continue. Ushio Totoro finished as well with its 39th episode. Great anime. There are a couple parts skipped over from the manga, but nothing plot sensitive. Or heavy, rather. Everything's plot sensitive in that manga. But besides that, pretty good. Great openings, great endings. If you like sort of the supernatural, spiritual, shonen type monster. Well, it's not really Monster of the Week. It's Monster of the Week for like 10 episodes, and then it starts developing, like a real plot line. And so that's nice. It starts out like a really easy to get shonen, and then the end is just like, hey, remember all those loose ends? Not anymore. And Oh yes, One Piece. This is the second week of its new opening, which is garbage.
Gasp.
It is a terrible, terrible song they picked for this opening theme, and I hope it doesn't last too long because it's just terrible. It does not fit the mood at all. The actual animation for the opening scene is amazing and has a lot of great things in it, and is really good. If they just put any other song to it, it'd probably be great. But it hurts my ears. It is not like, it isn't even like close to anything. Like, you would never put that in like a shonen anime. Like, why would you ever?
What's the genre?
Oh, the genre of music, it's like...
Is it still kind of like that poppy-ish, or
no? It's not. I love the poppy ones. Like, that's that's the big problem, is that it's like a laid back, like, woo, like clap this and that, and like every once in a while, but it's not like poppy. It's like really relaxed. Like really, really relaxed, and like, I don't know. There's just something about it that just sits, like, just turns me off. Like, I'll have to let you have a link to it, because it's just, you just have to, you'll know what I'm talking about once you experience it for yourself.
I'm sure I will.
But besides that, that's about everything I've seen this week. Of course, Shokeki no Soma also started this week with its second season. We are in the semifinals of the autumn election, and they start off with a bang. And so we've already, that was the first round, the first battle of the first round of the semifinals done. And so we've got the second round coming up next week. And next week is actually the episode where it has the JoJo reference in it. That everyone always talks about in the manga.
Yeah.
And so that'll be exciting to see. But besides that, at the Anime Expo in California, we had our first sneak peek of the new upcoming episodes, or movie, quote unquote, of Digimon Try.
Okay.
So we got a little teaser of that. That comes out in October, I believe.
Okay.
Even though it was supposed to be during the summer, guess what? It got pushed.
Gasp.
Big surprise.
Yeah.
But besides that, that's about as much as anime goes. I'll be doing my anime first impressions in probably 2 weeks once I've seen everything that comes out. We have a kind of a mixed schedule.
Yeah.
And everything won't be out until the next 2 weeks. So
how much of the newest seasons have come out so far? Or just new stuff?
It's like a third of the lineup comes out this week. This last week. And some of it comes out today. In fact, I'm going to be watching more after we get done with this podcast. So, I mean, it's just everything's coming out at different times this time around. So, it'll definitely be interesting.
So, is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
A little bit more on my week, since I forgot a big, huge chunk.
More Big Bang Theory.
All my anime stuff that I went through. Pretty much everything that I've went through. Trinity Blood. Another. Blood the Last Vampire. They're all up, and you can read them. See what I think. And I also, a big huge show that's really popular, Gravity Falls, which, yeah, it's
10 out of 10.
it's really, 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 really good.
How many Lewises out of CKs would you rate it?
I'd say 33 Louis CKs out of 34 Louis CKs.
That's pretty good.
And then other than that, I've been going through 3, maybe 4 secret anime shows. 2 of them might not even be anime. But I'm pretty sure one of them is, even though it's French and Japanese co-created. Which I can let that one out the gates for all you listener out there. Which is Ulysses 31 or 32. I'm pretty sure it's Ulysses 31. An 80s cartoon that was developed by French and Japanese peoples. And it's pretty much exactly the story of Ulysses, but all of a sudden give it that dash of space ships and all that stuff, and it's aliens, and you got a better story in my opinion. Cough cough. But yeah, I've seen 2 episodes so far, and I'm really liking what I'm seeing, and I'll leave that as it is. But other than that, I'm still going into the Blood franchise. I still haven't gotten to that first episode of Blood Plus yet. I'm just, there's too many things in my life right now that's keeping my time away from me. But when I get that time back, I'll freaking start it. And then, yeah, I think that's pretty much about it. Yeah, alrighty. So, what homework do we want to start with? Should we start with a good-ish homework or a good-ish Cubix?
Let's start with the actual homework first. Not the extra credit. Extra credit comes after the homework.
So, you want to start? You want to introduce
Sure.
it?
For those who don't know, Arcadia of My Youth is basically a retelling of the classic anime Space Pirate Captain Harlock. And so it's you don't necessarily need to know a lot about Space Captain Harlock, Space Pirate Captain Harlock, too much to watch this. There's just a couple things here and there that are hinted about that you know.
Yes.
That would come to you if you'd seen the original series, like I have. Amazing series, by the way. Definitely check that out as well. But this film is a different retelling of the origin story of our dear friend Captain Harlock. In fact, he's the Earth's only friend, so to speak.
Yeah.
So Sterling, could you give us a quick synopsis?
Oh, synopsis? So let me see. Let's start with Captain Harlock and how his ancestors always look back at their youth, saying that pretty much it was the Arcadia, which I'm not really too sure to extremely translate, but I'm pretty sure what they're trying to say is that every man that looks back at their youth thinks that that's the greatest part of their life, and pretty much Captain Harlock and all his ancestors are all pretty much prolific beings in the history that they were in, like in World War I and World War II. His ancestors were pretty much captains and like fighter airplane guys, and they always took the extra step to being a cool bad guy in the face of adversity, and pretty much
well, basically being a rebel with a cause.
Yeah. And it starts with pretty much our hero Captain Harlock and the future of, I'm guessing, 2000 something, because it was like 100 years after the 50s, so 250, like 2050.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
And it's pretty much Earth has been occupied by some kind of alien force that are humanish, and they're kind of like the Nazis, quote unquote. And he crash lands on the planet, and he's given an ultimatum to go destroy this other planet, or help in destroying another planet that all these guys under the Nazi regime, quote unquote, are a part of. And they're like, hey, yo, come on, Captain Harlock, don't do that to our planet. Come on. And basically Captain Harlock's like, I got you guys. And he basically puts everyone in risk with a rebellion to go to save this one guy's family from the whole extermination of their own planet. Like, I can do that. And he goes, and lo and behold, everything turns to Cracker Jacks in that planet. I was like, dang, dog. Sorry we couldn't save anybody. Oh, but your sister's okay. Oh, wait, no, she ain't. And then pretty much everything that happens in this 2-hour film is pretty much like building up every single character arc that's explained more in depth in the later episodes, like Emeralda's, Captain Harlock, of course, and other people of that caliber. And it's pretty swell. And the if you like Star Trek, Rogue Galaxy, Xenosaga, that type of Star Ocean 3, like, I don't, like, jeez, like a battleship kind of war in space, and it's like, jeez, like,
if you like Treasure Planet.
Oh yeah, Treasure Planet, of course, yep. Treasure Planet, all that kind of stuff of like, oh hey, spaceships and pirate ships and space pirate ships, whoa.
There we go.
And all that stuff, and it's actually pretty cool to see how it all starts, even though if it's a little bit like quick in its portrayal. Other than that, a great 70s-esque 80s animation.
Oh yeah.
Since you can feel that even though it's made in the 80s, it's made in the very, very early 80s. And it still has that 70s air about it. And it's like, yep, this is, even though it's 80s, it's freaking 70s as all hell. And some of the backdrops and all that stuff really proclaim that yes, 70s were on our minds. And yeah, anything to add? Josiah?
That's a pretty good synopsis. I mean, what's there to say? I mean, it's Captain freaking Harlock. I mean, can't go wrong. This was, you know, one of the golden age animes back in the day with like Ursa Yatsura and a whole other like Rama 1/2.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
This was you know up there, up with the tops back in the day, back in the 80s and 70s. I mean, this sort of stuff was, I mean, the classic example. Things, I mean, there are animes and manga still today that heavily reference Captain Harlock, constantly so too. Like, it's so it's so ridiculous to see such a pillar in the anime community, especially this one, be forgotten while a lot of the others are still like talked about frequently and this and that. Captain Harlock is always kind of pushed to the side. And it's really a shame because I mean this is one of my favorite pre-90s anime. I mean, I was exposed. I mean, well, it's not exposed to it, but I was shown it very early from my cousin. Cousin watched a lot of anime way back in the day. And so, I mean, this was like, this was the, like,
quintessential
shonen seinen, like, this was like a man's man. Like, this was like the JoJo of the 80s in anime.
Also to add on it, my journeys into Gundam have pretty much experienced Captain Harlock before I even knew what Captain Harlock was. I mean, I knew of the character, but I just didn't know what was up. But pretty much, After War Gundam X it's a carbon copy of Captain Harlock's adventures. Like, if you ever want to see a Gundam show tackle freaking Captain Harlock's adventures and stuff, then After War Gundam X is that show, like 100%. And it's I think it's less than 50 episodes. I think it's less than 50. But if you ever want to dive into that, then you can do it, and it's pretty easy because it's one of those series that is unto itself that you don't need to watch any other Gundams to get. And also, it's pretty much like in the ways of, like, a lot of people like to copy quote unquote this kind of style of, we have this big huge spaceship and then we have like crew members that are all likable and like different in their own ways, like Nardia and The Secret of the Blue Water, all that kind of stuff. And like it's a very I guess cliched kind of trope, but it's one of those tropes that are like, if you're gonna do a trope, then at least try to do this one. So yeah. And I've only ever seen one of his others, the creator of this, Matsumoto Leiji, I guess. I've only ever seen Interstellar 555, the one with that one song, People Guys.
Yeah.
I forget their names. The techno guys. Yeah. I don't want to say their name, what I'm thinking of, because I know it's wrong, but whatever. But yeah, his animation style and his designs of characters is very, very telling. And it's like, if you can see anything from him, then I suggest this one, Arcadia of my youth, and also this Interstellar 555, because if those are the two things that you'd want to watch, then those are the two things that I can recommend that I've only ever watched.
And don't forget about Galaxy Express 999.
Yeah.
That's also a big one. A lot of the manga and subsequent animes that came from Mr. Matsumoto, it all comes back to the same universe, and this movie actually kind of retconned a lot of that universe and kind of set it up for the next kind of spin-offs for all those shows. And so in that case, it's like, because you got like Universe 1, and then this starts kind of like Universe 2. And so that's also why this is kind of like a pivotal movie. Especially when coming to plot devices used in anime. Like, this is sort of the first, like, I wouldn't say the first reimagining, but the first like reimagining that actually led to something else.
Yeah.
In a serious way, or at least the most popular at the time. But I mean, as far as Matsumoto was like as big as Tezuka Osamu at the time. You know, I mean, like the king of manga. You know, I mean, like he was one of the men to come up in his place after like things like Astro Boy and Blackjack and several other of Osamu's great works. Kind of had their time in the limelight. He was. Matsumoto kind of came up and kind of stepped into that spotlight, and it was his time to shine, man. Let me tell you. I mean, he did a lot of great. I mean, he had great success, a lot of great shows, a lot of great manga. It was a great time to be alive back then.
Yeah, and I've actually read one of Matsumoto's very, very early mangas from I guess from like the 50s or 60s, somewhere around there. And it's pretty much basically a World War II fighter pilot and his buddies pretty much crash land on this island, and it's pretty much just them like trying to, like, I guess get out of that island, but it's also inhabited by like a lot of natives there, and it's actually pretty swell. Like before I even knew what the actual guy made it, I could like recognize his artwork, because his artwork is very telling. Again, it's like he likes to, and one of the things that I like about him is that he likes to, I guess, put more emphasis on characters that are like a little bit fat and like stubby, and like, no, they're actually like the greatest people on earth, man. What you talking about? And it's like, oh, that's cool, and that's kind of like, I respect kind of his work because of that, and like a little bit more on that and stuff like that. So, if you had to give a grading to it, what would you give it, and would you recommend it, Josiah?
Oh, 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10? And
I'd recommend it to anybody who likes anime, but not if you're like a New Century weeb who doesn't watch anything that's old because you don't think it's good, and you like Sword Art Online.
Yeah.
Not ironically, of course. Then don't waste your time.
Yeah. I agree with that. My grading though is a little bit different. I will give it a 7 out of 10, only for the reasons of the story by itself is a little bit too fast, and the animation quality isn't as great as I would expect from this kind of thing. But other than that, like, that's the only problem that I can give it. Other than that, it's pretty much an extremely recommendable anime that, like, if you call yourself a person who loves anime and watches everything and you haven't watched this, take that title off of that you right now, misters. So yeah, extremely recommendable, but a 7 on 10 is a little bit fair in my mind. Anything else to add? Distract?
No, I'm a pretty big Toshiro fan, though. Like you said earlier, he loves to draw like these really short, fat characters that are just like the best people in the world.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the sort of thing that also Miyazaki did.
Yeah.
He likes to he always likes to do the really short old men who are really like nice and really kind, and have those really big smiles, and like being like the nicest people on earth.
Yeah.
And so I really like that sort of trope. because you don't see it very often, or at least not portrayed more in a realistic sense.
Yeah.
Instead of just like, oh, okay, this is an attractive fat short person, you know. Oh, okay.
Like in the manga that I read with the fighter pilots, like the main character is a short, stubby, fat guy, and he gets all the girls. So, yeah.
Yeah. By the way, I remembered that the name of that manga was known as The Cockpit.
Yeah. And so why don't we go on to our extracurricular entertainment here, which was what again? I forget its name.
Robots for everyone. No, Berserk 2016, which somehow they've saying this is just a continuation of the 1997 series. Like that they've just been waiting all this time to get like. You look up on Anime News Network, Wikipedia, Crunchyroll, whatever place you want to look at that has the facts.
Yeah.
Now Berserk is listed as 1997 to blank. Like the original series didn't end.
Yeah.
This is the continuation of which is freaking ridiculous. This should just be counted as a different season. Which they're not doing, which I think is just the most ass-backwards thing I've ever heard in my life, especially after seeing it. I just wanted to get that out of the way, because I got in quite the conversation with someone online about that. On whether it technically counts or not, or whether it should count or not in that case. But no, I believe it was our good friend Demolition D who just put out his words on it today. He was too scared to watch it Friday or Saturday, and so he watched it today on Sunday and put out a small little vignette on his secondary channel this morning that I watched, and basically it says, oh, I'm glad to see them sticking so close, to the, the original source manga, and, he's flipping through the pages showing, the similarities. He's like, but I can't help but thinking that the art director came in drunk every morning.
Yeah.
And then that also leads me to, who is the artist behind Mega Man?
Keiji Inafune?
Yeah, Inafune. Like Inafune said, it's better than nothing, right? No, but seriously, I mean, it was rough. It was tough, but it wasn't terrible.
Yeah.
Voice acting was a little bit bad. I didn't mind. Guts' voice was fine. It's just some of the supporting cast was, I don't know. And then there was one thing I had, one big problem with Guts that I had, and that's when he was having the dream. And then he yelled Griffith, and it was a really bad take. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like, what? Every time he's ever yelled Griffith has been amazing.
Yeah.
Every single time, no matter what the iteration, it's been amazing, heartfelt, and serious. But no, not this time.
Yeah.
Not this time, folks.
So what are your thoughts on it?
Well,
like a little bit more context on what's up.
So basically, let's give a little background information. Basically, they've skipped out the whole lost children turned into nasty insects. We killed them, then devoured their soul type insect. I'm the queen of the naked people in the forest. Because apparently that one's a little too saucy for TV. There's no actual official statement on that, on why they skipped 10 chapters, but 6 to 10 chapters. But that kind of sets up where Guts is now. Yeah. But besides that, I mean, that's fine. They skipped the whole thing. They didn't do it bad or this or that. Like better to skip it than have a faulty representation of it. That's really not. I mean, it's a little plot heavy, yes. But is it the worst thing in the world? No.
Yeah.
But besides that, they did cut out a couple of the good scenes by the tree, and they kind of fused the scenes together. Although both appropriate, their kind of mingling in the middle was a little forced and short.
Yeah.
Because of the spirit tree. That kind of scene was kind of downplayed and kind of stupid. In which, in the original one, it was much more intense.
Yeah.
And well, in the manga, it's much more intense and much more like guts coming and just destroying everything. And then meeting the people with the way I don't know. It was a little out of order. Not bad.
Yeah.
But in the opening, I don't mind the opening music that much, but the actual opening is pretty crappy.
Yeah.
As far as just like images, and oh man, that Griffith, not the Griffith, but the what's his name?
Which one?
His demon name.
Femto?
Yeah, Fentos.
How could you forget our Lord and Savior?
He was a little chubby. He looked like he'd been eating too many donuts. His fingers were a little fat. Let me just put it that way. For Fentos. And so that kind of threw me off a little bit, especially. And as some people have noticed, when he's stabbing the Beast of the Horn, like Dragon Ball Super all over again.
Yep. And in the opening credits as well. So.
Yeah. See, I don't think the CG is that bad.
Yeah.
But I really wish they mix it with some regular,
Which they did.
Instead of going, because seriously, I feel like I'm watching a reboot sometimes when I watch it again.
Cubix?
Yeah, or Helix. Or Cubix.
Cubix. Well, from my perspective, I was kind of going into it, disliking the 3D animation and all that stuff, like, to the nth degree. And, like, going into it and seeing, like, how it, like, as, like, its own separate thing, it's like, this is fine. Like, I mean, things are moving.
Fine. I don't hate it.
Things are moving as they kind of should be.
Well, and another thing, too,
just
so I can... sorry to interrupt you, but I just want to cut in here while it's still relevant. Another thing too is that his body shape is kind of wrong in the first couple scenes, and then if you watch the preview for the next episode, his shirt is off, everything's good again. But it just seemed like he was built like a triangle.
Yeah.
For a lot of those scenes.
And like, the only thing that I have a problem with the 3D animation, along with it being a little bit clunky in its animation, but it still gets the point across, that the texture work on some things are like, are you sure you didn't forget a texture in that area? Like, especially his cape. His cape is kind of like... In scenes when it's like scenes in which it's like zoomed on, all I can see is like a gray backdrop. I'm like, what am I looking at? Oh, it's his cape. What? And I'm like, okay, fine. I guess you didn't have time to put something in there. But for a series that continues, quote unquote, the 1997 thing, I'm kind of a little bit bummed, but how it's doing it is fine by all means, even for like in the way of how much of it is like kind of like brushed aside from the manga point of view. And like it in an extreme sense of people liking what they did brush out, what they're keeping in from right now at least, is sort of alright. And like the introduction of Puck is a little bit it works for what it's trying to be. And Puck, the introduction of Puck, you can see the hopes of, oh, maybe they'll have a little bit more time to do 2D animation in between, because wow, that introduction of the 2D animated Puck was like, whoa, wow, that's actually pretty good animation there. Oh wait, no, 3D animation. Especially from that one big huge fat guy with the 2 teeth hanging out. Who has pupils that don't move. And that's pretty much what I thought of it, was that even though that, yes, there's some stuff, pivotal stuff that people like missing as a continuation of the 1997, I'm like, I'm alright with it. Like, it's nothing grand and spectacular, but it's something that is
something
not really befitting, but it's acceptable. But again, this is only the first episode of, I don't know, maybe 50, maybe 50, because I mean, if you're gonna go with a 3D animated route of copying out of 2D, then you better be going all the way.
Yeah, all in, not at all.
So yeah.
What did you think about Puck's voice?
Well, considering that I only know Puck's voice from the Dreamcast version, and I didn't really extremely give any two thoughts about it, I thought it was fine. Like, there wasn't really, it wasn't to the extremes of what I would say doesn't work. But I would say that
it doesn't work necessarily.
That
mine
his
was
character
just more
is
like, it just seemed really rough. Like, hopefully the voice actor will get better at delivering the lines as the series goes on. Not so much that I say the voice can't work in it of its own, but just that as it is right now, I don't necessarily like it.
One more thing,
or rather, what he's doing with the voice.
One more thing that I kind of really dislike about it's a little bit of a pet peeve, but it's very, very telling in this, is that I like most of the music and how it's introduced and how it goes with each scene. There's extreme points where I'm like, wait, why did you do that? In which the music just cuts out, and it's like, oh, we gotta cut out this one music note to have like a, I guess, like a punch of like a character talking, like in the dream where it's all like the music is ramping up and then all of a sudden it just cuts, and then like it's looking at the baby and it's like, oh, you can't do nothing, guts. And it's like, oh, okay. And then it continues on, like, wait, really? That's how you cut it? That's wrong. And it does it twice more in that episode. I'm like, no. But that's just a pet peeve of mine, and it's pretty much telling of, I'm not too sure how they know how music works all that great and how they should apply it to each scene. Other than that, yeah. Like, I'm very expecting more of it, and hopefully, as time goes on, we'll keep up on it for extra credit and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but,
well, I mean, just from your point of perspective, I was surprised to see you jump on something so quickly.
Yeah. Well, you know,
you never do that.
I know. It's not like I read that mango all the way back and would have wanted the continuation of the 1997 anime. It's not. It has nothing to do with that.
I'm just saying it's a little out of your character, from what I know.
Yeah.
That was my only comment.
But don't be
like I said,
anything.
It has a lot of room to grow.
Yeah.
And hopefully it does, instead of just staying in the kind of crappy spot that it's in right now.
Yeah. So, from this episode alone, what would a grade from you be if you had to grade this episode?
Be a 5.
5?
Yeah.
For me, I'm gonna be a generous and put it as a 6.
Yeah, I say somewhere between a 5 or a 6.
Yeah.
Like, that's honestly where it belongs. You know, it's just so.
Yeah.
Why did it have to be CG? Well, I mean, the first series. It's just so out of character. I understand the movies, but even the movies only used it, you know, enough.
Yeah.
It's just. It's one of those series that you don't even need to. Like, I know it's cheaper, but it's like.
Well, it's because of the animation studio.
Would have made you so much money. Like, it's like it shouldn't even matter. Like, this is just stupid. Like, I just don't. You know.
Yeah. So, Josiah, what are you looking forward to this upcoming week?
Well, we got the new The Gray Man continuation coming up, which, if you haven't noticed, The Gray Man kept going as a manga where the series had left off back in the 2000s, I believe?
I'm pretty sure it's the 2000s.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I couldn't remember if it was the late 90s or the early 2000s. But,
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're getting more The Gray Man. Great. Love The Gray Man. The manga it'll break your skull. The tables turned so many times.
Amazing.
You just don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know if you can trust this character.
So is it like that Metal Gear
for more than
Solid
2
character?
chapters because something always changes.
Yeah.
People always change sides. But no, so that should be interesting. That'll be good, especially because the original D Gray Man had such a good taste in music. Hopefully, this one keeps up and gets us some good OPs for this season. Because so far the OPs haven't been so great, but we'll see. Besides that, there's a couple animes I'm looking forward to. Can't remember the names because they just came out or they're about to come out, and you know I haven't stared at them a million times to watch an episode a couple times first. So, yeah. So I'm just really excited for this new season. Sorta. There's a lot of wild cards and there's a lot of schlock.
Yeah.
I can already tell just from.
Yeah, I can tell like at least one of them very quickly by just watching, like looking at what's.
You could just look at the poster art most of the time and just be like, "Oh man, that's schlock."
Yeah.
But besides that, nothing too big. Suicide Squad comes out pretty soon, doesn't it?
July 22, I believe. I'm not too sure on that, but that sounds familiar in my head.
I was supposed to be closer. Give me 1 second here. Let's see here. Suicide Squad. Come on, give me the dates, you stupid. No, August 5th.
Oh wow, dang. Oh yeah, because of all that reshoots, boy.
Yeah, I forgot it was pushed back. Yeah, that's right. I just didn't think it was pushed back this far. Oh well. I'm kind of looking forward to Suicide Squad. Kind of not. We'll see. Yeah, I need to pick up and watch Finding Dory, though.
Oh, I might be watching that tomorrow. Yay, maybe.
Maybe.
For the 4th of July.
I might go watch that, too. I don't have anything to do tomorrow. I'm off from work, so. We'll see. What about you, Stern? What are you looking forward to besides playing Overwatch with me all the time?
Of course. Yeah, I might be getting. Well, actually not. But whatever. Anyway, I'm looking forward to finishing both Final Fantasy VI because, like, I'm right there at the precipice of getting all the characters. I just need 3 more characters, and then and then I can go fight Kefka. And then one of the things that I'm kind of perturbed by, from the fans' point of view, is that a lot of people out there think that Shadow as a character His death is the best in the series. I'm like, dog, you don't know nothing. If you let Shadow die, then you practically are saying that you hate Shadow. So, get out of my face.
If you let Shadow die, you're a low-tier idiot. I mean, let's just be perfectly honest here.
But other than that, finishing that up, finishing up part 6 of JoJo. Hopefully today is one of those days where I can have some free time and I can get at least 4 or 5 volumes out of the way, and then I'll just have maybe 2 or 1 left. Hopefully starting Blood Plus. I'm not too sure about finishing it because it is 50 episodes, but it's that kind of anime that I can see just by looking at it that I can pretty much marathon it.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to marathon.
I haven't had a good marathon in a while. Other than that,
wait till you get the second opening done by Flo. That's where it really gets spicy.
Other than that, maybe get maybe 2 out of the 4 secret reviews out the door. I'm pretty sure I can get one of them out by today or tomorrow or 2 days from tomorrow, depending on whether this comes out. I'm pretty sure because it's one of the easiest ones because, oh, spoilers, it's a 10. Gasp. Other than that, yeah, I think I'm good with what I'm looking forward to. Oh yeah, also, a question. One last question. Josiah?
Yes.
What do you think about the poster art of the new Berserk Muso game? Now, if you don't know, I'll just say it. It basically has all your favorite characters all on display, but right dab in the middle is Casca. But Casca is in that position of the final episode of the 1997 anime. What do you think about that as a promotional material?
Give me 1 second, I'm looking at it right now.
Because I hear a lot of people saying that they're sexualizing a very traumatic experience and a very pivotal point of the whole entire series.
Do they even Berserk? Okay, I found it, yeah. Okay, no, that's fine.
Yeah.
I don't understand what you can barely even tell it's Casca, but I mean, jeez Louise, it's like seriously, like if you're the one community where you say, oh no, we shouldn't go that deep is not the Berserk community. You don't understand.
Yeah.
This will just make the Berserk community happier. Like if you try and fight.
Yeah,
like,
for me it makes me like, yes, that's happening.
That's Berserk.
That's what that is. That right there.
That's like the biggest plot point in the whole series. Like that's. I mean, that's the whole.
Yeah.
That's the whole bit that broke up the 2 best friends in the world. I mean.
Yep.
I mean, basically, that is like arguably the most important point in the entire Berserk series, and of course, you're gonna put that or some semblance of that.
Yeah.
On the poster art, if you know anything about Berserk. I mean, have you seen some of the Berserk collection, like, or omnibus like versions? Like,
yeah.
You know, for the manga, it's like it's even worse than that. Like, it's really like detailed. You know,
And I think that some of that is just from the fans that have only gotten like face value of the 1997 anime.
Foot deep.
And it's like, oh man, you're showing that? Come on! I'm like, really? That's barely like the first full hand of chapters of like a 300 plus chapter mango. But okay, and yeah, with that, Josiah, what do we always say?
Always pay new to your pet. Oh no, I mean,
don't get
good.
Alrighty.